Hello everybody, welcome back to High Ground. My name is Tanner, and today we're going to be talking about a map pool change for competitive Rainbow Six Siege. Oregon out, layer in. So we currently have a 9 map pool and that's not changing, but again, one of the maps Oregon is going to be taken out and one of the maps layer is going to be added in. And do keep in mind this change isn't taking effect until stage number 2, so this won't be affecting the ongoing tournaments like Element 3. This won't be affecting the upcoming Esports World Cup. This will not take effect until, well, presumably, unless some other off-season tournament wants to put this into effect. This won't be in effect until stage number 2 in a few months. So yeah, let's talk about it a little bit. Oregon is one of the most requested maps to be removed from the pool, I'd say, maybe even the most. We'll look at the other maps and see what they could have done instead in just a moment. And layer, I don't know if layer is the best choice. I think it's a really tough call. Like the best maps to add in might be like Villa and Theme Park, but those are the ones they just removed. So other maps that they could have maybe added in, some people say Outback, some people say like Emerald Plains. So there certainly were a few more options that are sort of contentious, but maybe would have been worth trying at the very least. As very often happens with new maps, I expect we won't see this played very much. Maybe a few teams will take to it, but I think because teams just generally don't like change, and also because it is pretty hard to maintain a 9 map pool, and it's easier to do so when you've had a lot of reps. When it's a brand new map, maybe it'll take a lot of time for a lot of the teams to work it into their pool. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens, but like we saw with Nighthaven Labs and Consulate, we really didn't see a lot of it for a while, but now we do see a good amount of those maps. So let's take a look at the map pool at large. So currently, again, before layer is added in to replace Oregon, we have Border, Chalet, Clubhouse, Bank, Cafe, Oregon, Skyscraper, Consulate, and Nighthaven Labs. So other changes that we could maybe make besides replacing maps. Some people want to go back to a 7 map pool. They think it adds to the competitive integrity of the game. 9 maps is just too much. Some people would even like to see the number of maps increase. And as we discussed before, there are a handful of maps that could be added in. Say we keep all of these and then we add in Villa and Theme Park could be brought back. You could add back in Coastline. There's Emerald Plains and Outback and Layer that is being added in. So there are a handful of other viable maps. Like these aren't the only maps that more or less preserve competitive integrity. So yeah, you could add more maps, you could remove some maps. And then as far as different maps to replace, so if they wanted to keep Oregon, if because it's a popular map, or maybe they see it just as a really good competitive addition, there is Clubhouse. It's literally never been removed from the map pool, but it is pretty stale in that way. Cafe is not a very exciting map. You have to attack it pretty similarly most of the time. There's a lot of window play, which isn't always the most fun to watch. So Cafe was a really big one a lot of people would have liked to have seen, probably top 2 along with Oregon. And I've even heard some people say, how can Oregon stay when Chalet's in, when Bank's in, when Border's in? I've heard this about every, and even Clubhouse and Cafe as well. I think I've heard this about every map in the pool except for, I don't know if I've heard it about Consulate or Nighthaven Lab, which are just way newer than every other map in the pool. The 2 most recent, and you can also see the continuous duration of time. Like Consulate has been in for less than half the time that Skyscraper's been in, Border's been in, not including the time they were in prior. It's interesting that so many people think that there are objectively worse maps than Oregon, but they're saying like 5 or 6 different maps. It's just a curious phenomenon. So yeah, I think that's all there is to discuss. I don't think, obviously there's not a lot of things actually happening, just the one change. So which map would you have rather seen taken out? If they weren't going to take out Oregon, would you have wanted to see Clubhouse get the axe, Cafe, Bank, Border, what have you? Which map would you like to see go? And if they were going to add in a different map besides Layer, which one would you want to see? Are you a big fan of Emerald Plains or Outback, or do you really want to see Theme Park or Villa back? Let me know. And with all that being said, I will catch you guys next time.